What's up, good people? It's your boy Lloyd Knows back at it again. Happy fucking New Year, people. Man, 2020 had to go. 2020 owed you money and they couldn't pay off, so we had to cancel that bad boy like Nino. Man, I'm so glad it's gone, man. Like, it was like you was seeing, with your 2020 vision, and then your glasses got cracked and vision was blurred for the whole rest of the year, man. We don't even want to discuss 2020 no more, man. On to the next, man. New year, new everything, new culture, new episodes, and a new head coach. Dun, dun, dun. Breaking news. Texas fires Tom Herman. Woo! Man, that's how you start the new year, just like that. You was hearing sources say that they were going to stick with him for another year. You were hearing some sources say, hey, that might not be a given. Urban Meyer turned down the job. We're like, what are we going to do? Let's go another year with him. Fuck it. Let's go another year with him. Wrong answer. We all knew that wasn't going to fly, man. Look. I appreciate Tom Herman for his services here at Texas. I really do. I really do. Y'all know I never signed off on him in the first place, so, it's not much good I can say about him because I never actually wanted him there in the first place, you know what I mean? But, Tom Herman, excuse me, I have to catch myself. Tom Herman has been very serviceable as the head coach of UT. But unfortunately, very serviceable isn't fucking good enough. It's not even close to being good enough. We're talking about we need to be competing for national titles. We need to be winning Big 12 championships or competing for them on a consistent basis. I mean, our only rival in this conference is Oklahoma. And Oklahoma has made us their bitch. And I don't appreciate saying that shit, but it's just a fact. The matter is. And there's only two coaches, in my opinion, that I think could turn this program around. I told y'all once, and I'll tell y'all again here in a second. But, speaking on Tom Herman, man, I wouldn't say it's long overdue, but like I said, he shouldn't have been the hire in the first place. But, he did the best he could. Listen, he has a ceiling, At U of H, he did great things, right? But at the end of the day, Texas was just too big of a step for him. He underachieved, in my opinion, at U of H, losing that bowl game at the end of the year. They shouldn't have lost, A, first of all, to Florida State in that year, and B, it just seemed like they didn't even want to be there. Their heads weren't in the game, and possibly because their coach wasn't in the game. Bottom line is Tom Herman just wasn't the rightful guy for Texas, and I appreciate his services. I know he's got some longhorn in him. I know he coached there before in the past or was a grad assistant and whatnot. But, Tom Herman is no longer needed.
You're fired.
That's all. That's all I can say about it, I'm kind of really feeling indifferent about it because, I don't know when else they were supposed to make this announcement. I don't think it would be appropriate for them to make that announcement before the bowl game. So at the same time, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, well, who are we gonna get? You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to just fire him, but it's another thing to just replace him with some other guy. And I'm hearing they're talking about replacing him with Steve Sarkisian, and then I'm hearing Steve Sarkisian actually turned it down. So I don't even know what to think. I'm not signing off on Steve Sarkisian. I don't care that he coached at Alabama and what good things he did for the Washington Huskies program. Listen. If it ain't Nick Saban and it ain't Urban Meyer, what are we talking about? Those two coaches can get bought out. Money's not the issue. I don't know what their issue is, quite frankly, but one of those two coaches should be the next coach of UT, and I won't, stand for anyone else. I might sign off on a Harbaugh, Jim Beam, but why would he just go from Michigan to UT? That wouldn't make any sense. I think he's probably going to the NFL next, but beyond that, what do you guys think? Who do y'all think should be the next head coach at University of Texas? Again, I think it should be Nick Saban or Urban Meyer, but it doesn't look like those two are going to be viable candidates in the near future. So, you know, and the reason why I want those two, let's get it clear. The reason why I want those two, because those two know that the standard is the standard, just like Mike Tomlin knows that. And those two are going to get the best out of their players. And that's the thing that Tom Herman, Charlie Strong, and quite frankly, Mac Brown at the later end of his tenure wasn't getting the best out of his players. They just weren't getting the best out of their players. They were recruiting big-time players, but they weren't developing them. They weren't developing them at all like they should have been, like their peers, like Oklahoma's, like the Ohio States, you know, like the TCU's, like the Baylor's. They were not developing the talent that they were getting, because they were getting big-time talent, just weren't developing them. People were coming to UT thinking, oh, I'm big bad UT, and, you know, teams are just going to fall down when we walk in the stadium. That's not happening, man. You got to earn that scholarship, man. People weren't earning that scholarship. They weren't really putting that jersey on serious. You know, they weren't playing with pride, man. They were just thinking, I got on a Texas jersey. Everything's set for me, man. You gotta play through all of that, man. Texas fight is something serious, man. That means we got some fight in us. And you really haven't been seeing much fight in the Texas Longhorns in the past few years, man. And they've been getting out-recruited by their peers, out-recruited by the TCUs, out-recruited by the Baylors. Hell, out-recruited by the Texas Techs of the world in some cases, and definitely been out-recruited by Oklahoma for the past I don't know how many years. And those are, man, you got more Texas players in Oklahoma than you got Oklahoma players in Oklahoma. I don't mean no goddamn sense, man. You mean to tell me they're gonna come down here and get our talent and take it back up there? Like, you gotta have some pride about yourself when you wear that Texas jersey, man. You can't just put on that jersey and think everything's gonna open up for you and people are just gonna fall down for you, man. It's not how it is, man. And I just think too many people got up there and just thought they were just too privileged to give a damn. And that's where our program has been in shambles for the past decade, man. Bottom line is, those two coaches that I spoke about earlier are going to demand greatness. And they're going to get greatness too. They're going to get the best recruits too, but they're going to demand the best out of those recruits if they want to play. And bottom line is, what are you doing it for? And so, you know, if we don't have a coach that's going to light a fire on this program's ass, then it's never going to be back to the dominance that it's supposed to be at. You know, this is Texas. It means more to Texas than it does for any other program, because it means more to the state than it does to any other state, man. Texas is a religion. Texas football is a religion. It's a form of commerce. It's big business. It's like no other, man. And you know, whoever's going to be the next head coach of this program needs to know that and needs to recognize that. And so I hope y'all are excited about this opportunity for a new leader to take over this program. But, you know, I'm just weary about it. I'm concerned. I don't know what to think about it. At the same time, I'm excited as hell, man, because we got a fresh new start. It's a new year, man. So Texas fight. But we got to do better. And I got to do better. That's all I got to say about that.